Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Hey, we're glad to have y'all tuned in with us today here on a Tuesday night. Uh, I don't know what it's doing where y'all at, but it's been raining here this morning. Uh, actually warmed on up where I'm at about 60 degrees. Got my buddy Joey Kirby in, and Joey now is he's the Weight Watcher guy. So, Joey, how you doing, my friend?
I'm hungry. Actually,
As
I'm
my
starving.
grandmama used to say, you look hungry.
Hey, I'm about to whittle down to nothing. The wind, hey, when I walk, the wind blows me.
Well, when we get off on a fishing trip, we're going to make sure we go get us some Mexican food, some pizza, and some steaks.
Hey, that's fine with me.
Get your little cheat time.
Yes, sir.
That's right. Hey,
That's
I'll be able to
right.
burn them calories rather
Hey,
than
and
fish.
some of
Okay.
Hey, and hey, Aaron, I don't know if you know or not, but right there at that crossroad, right there at Kellen, I think that's Kellen, where that Shell station's at. Man, they got some cinnamon rolls, and I'm telling you, at breakfast that is off the chain.
They do.
Is that the one going back towards Rogersville? Go over the dam and then the stoplight up there?
Right.
Yes.
That's our hangout. He calls them
You
cinnamon
hadn't
rolls.
stopped there and got a
honey buns.
I've ate a
You
few
got to
of them.
stop there in the morning, man, and get you one of them cinnamon rolls.
They're good.
And, guys, we're trying our best. I don't know how the reception. I know somebody said some echo. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, we'll see what we can do. I know my internet service like it's getting worse and worse. So, guys, we got Aaron Churchwell in here with us tonight. Aaron, how you doing, my friend?
Not too bad.
Hey, well, it's good to have you in here, man. What's been going on with you?
Man, been busy, man. Went down fishing Masters and Asheville last weekend and fished Dalton Driver's little winter tournament up there, and that's one tough body of water. Old Hickory Lake. That thing's handled me a couple times. So,
Yeah. Hey, well, you done good on the first day, didn't you, Aaron?
yeah, we caught that big fish in real shallow water and didn't catch it throughout the weekend in shallow water. Not that shallow, about 4 foot. And we lost a decent one that morning that probably would have went 40, 45, about 5 foot of water. And then like all the fish disappeared and we just went to scanning and saw 2 really big fish up in timber in about 1.5 foot of water and put some baits in the water, and he was on the rod probably within about 3 minutes. I remember sitting there going, man, that's a huge fish over there, man. And then I was like, my bait's over there. I mean, Rod never even moved. He was just walking. But we got him in the boat, and the sun never shined on day 2, and them fish never moved. So they never started feeding on them shallow flats. It really hurt us.
Yes, sir. Well, how many pounds y'all end up with on the first day?
70. That's 70 pounds, and big fish was 59. And then day 2, we had maybe one decent bite all day.
Hey, let me correct this. I said killing, but Robert Gilcrease put on here, that's going to be in Elgin. That's at the intersection of 101 and 72. And the reason I got to tell y'all this, because you don't need to miss it. If you up here fishing, you stop by that Shell station in the morning, and they're going to have breakfast, and you're going to see them big old cinnamon rolls out there. They're going to have them out there, and they're going to be hot, and they're about as big as a hubcap on a pickup truck, and they're going to have a bunch of that glaze just soaked all over them. I always get me one, eat breakfast first, and carry me one of them. And most of the time, later in the day, about 9 o'clock, you know, Joey hears something that's like a rat over there in a paper sack. He said, "What you doing?" I said, "I'm pulling out that cinnamon roll I bought."
He
Like a
always,
fetus.
Churchwell, we always get a sausage and biscuit, or a biscuit and gravy with a sausage patty in it. So we eat that. And of course, I'm a little bit bigger fella than Stacy as far as appetite. So I'll sit there and eat my honey bun or cinnamon roll too. And he'll break his out about 2 hours in the fish in the morning. And I just sit over there, just slobbering. I'm a slobber coming out of my mouth.
There was a guy. Let me see if I can pull it back up right here. What's the best way to fish in cool water? Close to the boat or far from the boat in about 30 to 50 foot of water? I was saying 30 or 50 foot of water. I don't know if it would really make no difference of how far you from the boat.
No, about 30 foot's my cutoff for, you know, suspending. So you can catch fish right underneath the boat, but I don't think you can be up there doing jumping jacks, but I think you can get one to eat right underneath you.
Well, I'm gonna share this, and I don't know if Troy Smith is tuned in with us or not. Let me see if I can get this to pop back on. But me and Troy was all fishing this past week, and we was dragging some baits in some shallow water, and I had some poles suspended. And we was in 20 foot of less, and I would say if you've seen some pictures that we posted up, them fish was caught on suspended rigs in 20 foot or less of water. Most of it was around 15 or 16. But as we moved up in that shallow water, I told Troy, I said, "Troy, let's do not move around. We're going to be really quiet." And we was catching them fish right up under the boat. But I've done this several times, but I always tell people, if you're in the boat, let's be quiet. Don't be jumping around. It's hard for me not to jump around and holler and hoot and jumping. But I just try to be more quiet, you know, when it gets in that shallow water like that, especially when you suspend it straight down.
Yeah, wheeler time in the wintertime, I fish usually 14 foot or less a lot of the time. I would say 90% of the time, 14 foot or less. I always put a suspended rod out. I mean, I've caught fish on suspended rod in shallow water. I don't put a lot of emphasis in suspending baits in that shallow water. I would rather put them on a planer board and get them way from the boat.
Yeah. Now you go back. Let me hear what you said again now, Aaron, about in the wintertime fishing. You do what now? Fishing in the shallow water? You fish shallow then?
Yeah, for the most part. For the most part, when that sun comes out in that shallower water, that water will heat up faster than anything else. When that water heats up, them shad will all start moving to it. This winter on Weiss, all the bait I've been catching on Weiss has been a foot, 2 foot of water in the backs of sloughs. And I'm talking one and done. You throw one throw net and it's slapped full of gizzard shad and everything else you can think of, and you got to dig through it all.
So Churchwell, are you saying even on rivers or just lakes, you concentrate on something that shallow?
Mostly lakes.
What's your idea of depth in the rivers this time of year?
That all just depends on the body of water that I'm fishing. We went up and fished Old Hickory, which is part of the Cumberland in Nashville, and looking at it from an avionics point of view, it looks like, you know, something that I would love to fish. It's got a lot of flats that are 10 foot or less outside the river channel. Some of them are in the 20 foot range. That main channel is 30 to 60 foot. We could not catch a blue cat one outside that channel.
Yeah.
But it's more of a river system that runs through that lake where they just.
So can you tell the people that's watching, there's quite a few on here tonight. I know you hear a lot of people in the terms flats. So if you're fishing, say what you was looking for in your Navionics flats, what would you describe them as a flat versus the channel?
A flat. Okay, so channel is the old riverbed. Now this is talking about a lake. So the channel is the old riverbed that cuts through that lake. Anything on the outside of that would be flats. So like on Wheeler, you have a lot of 30, 35-foot flats right outside the river channel. And then the closer to the bank or the more mid-lake you get, you start seeing shallower, teens flats and stuff like that. But yeah, that the body of water that's outside the old channel bed is what we consider flats.
Hey, Aaron, I wanna add this in because, and I want to try to. I can't stress this enough. I know you have made mention of it several times. By the way, that Aaron, Daniel said his heart was still hurt.
Yeah, that was rough that
but
morning. That fish.
but and probably I grew up, and a lot of people have. Uh, Matter of fact, I had just we was doing I done an article today for a magazine, and in that, one of the questions that they asked me was, where do you look for these fish at? And I made mention about, we get in these patterns and we get stuff that's been taught to us all of our life, that them big ones are in them big 100-foot holes down there. We know where that big hole is at, and that's where the big ones hang out. And I'm not saying that they don't hang out there, but to think that they're only there, you are underestimating and you're missing a lot of good water. When I started hearing you, Michael Smith fishing out there on Lake Tawakoni, he's in here with us tonight, talking about fishing in shallow water. Uh, it changed. I started doing that. I'm like, hey, these fish are here, and the last several years, the biggest ones that I've caught has been in 20-foot or less water. The ones that we caught just this past week, the water temperature was 51 point something, and we was smashing them. And so, and I heard some guys make mention. Somebody told me, a buddy of mine asked me, said, "Where do you fish at here?" I said, "Go right out here and anchor down." And we used to fish some out in there. And I had talked to him later. He said, "Well, we didn't go out there." He said, "You realize how shallow it is?" And they didn't even fish it. I said, "Well, who cares how shallow it is?" He said, "They ain't about 8 foot." I said, "Well, who cares?" I said, "They there, just anchor down." And, well, I ain't never fished nothing that shallow. And I'm like, "Well, just anchor down if there's some current and go to fishing, and you're going to be surprised what is there." And most people put in, Aaron, and you've probably seen this, and maybe we used to all do it. They're looking for that one deep hole. Where's it at? And you're missing a lot of good fish. And not saying that them fish is not in that deep hole, but just to think that they're only there, you're missing a lot of good stuff.
I used to be guilty of that. I used to pull out Navionics and look at it, and if the boat ramp was here and the tournament's out of here, I'm looking and looking and looking, and there's the deepest water right there. That's where we're going to start.
There's another. Let me get this right here. Question here. This is a good one right here. And because, what do you think differentiates those who consistently catch large fish to those that struggle to do so? I'm gonna let you go first with this, Aaron, because I got my thoughts on it too. But go ahead.
I think, in all honesty, number one key to success with catching larger fish is time on the water. Time on the water and learning as you're going. You can spend all the time on the water out there if you're not looking at, why did I catch this fish? We were just talking about this before the show. Why did I catch this fish in this location? A lot of us are guilty of being spot fishermen. We were just talking about that too. And we're all guilty of it on our own bodies of water. When you get out and you start traveling, fishing a lot of places and stuff, you really have to rely on condition. And once you learn how fish maneuver with condition is when you can start bringing that from this body of water to this body of water to this body of water. Now, they all react different throughout different bodies of water, but you can kind of get a base for, this is what fish do. So I think time on the water would probably be the biggest key to that.
Yeah, Aaron, I'm gonna throw something in here with this because I have been asked this several times, and I have been around people who have fished, and they probably don't put the time that I do in the water. I fish every weekend if I get a chance, but they do go fishing, a couple of times a year, and they've never caught a fish over 10 or 12 pounds. And so they've come off with me, and the first thing they say, "You gonna anchor here?" I'm saying, "We're gonna anchor right here." And the first thing they say, "Well, we never fished like this."
Yeah.
And this is what I always say: if you've never caught a fish that's over 10 or 15 pounds, and you want to catch big ones, and there's some on that reservoir, this is my first thing. I says, don't go back to the places you've been fishing. Don't go to them.
Yeah.
Go somewhere else.
Yeah.
I says, even if you think it's the craziest place in the world, just go somewhere else. And the way that I started finding fish and the way that I started figuring out, I did notice big ones have a tendency to hang out in certain type places.
Yep.
And I says, you will never find this if you fish the same old place that you've been catching them squealers at. Yep. I said, just don't even go there. Go somewhere else. And I said, you're going to start to find out, and you'll start to put a pattern together that you're going to get some bigger fish and starting to catch bigger fish and do little things, but do something different than what you've been doing. I don't want to sound arrogant or nothing like that, because I still struggle a whole lot. But if you will put certain patterns together and fish certain things, and you will just start doing this, I promise you, you go off fishing with me, we may not catch a big one today, we might not catch it tomorrow, but we're going to catch it. I mean, it's just because I think the places that we fish at, I think it's just you just start to learn over time that these fish are in these certain places. And I always tell people, you go fishing with me for 2 or 3 days, we're going to catch a big one.
Yeah.
And your techniques. I mean, like you said the other day, Stacy, you and Troy tried your favorite technique and for a couple hours and it didn't work. If it's not working, switch it up versus dragging, pulling planer boards, suspend drifting, anchoring up. I mean, I won't say this real loud because it's almost Valentine's Day and my wife will hear me. A lot of times, man, them fish are females and they don't even know what they do. So you like Aaron, Churchwell fishes all over the country. If he went to the same place every year or every time he moved to a different lake, if he say pulled boards, it's not going to work all over he may go to a body of water the next week where the current's ripping and stuff. So you got to have don't be scared to switch it up and try different things.
I'll put something really good into example for you guys. When we went to Texoma, so we had Spud and his wife in another boat, and then we had me and Daniel in another boat. And Spud had been there for like 2 days, and he'd been struggling. I mean, he'd be fish in the boat. And we were probably on the water for about 30 minutes, and we found this ledge that is real similar to some shallow water I fish on Wheeler. I mean, it looked just like it. And we pulled up on it, and we threw some drifting rigs out, put some planer boards on, and we were going a little faster than what I thought we were. And I looked down, and I was like, man, that joker's 377 feet. And I closed it. And before I could even put my planer board on, I look up, and the rod goes, whoop, whoop, and then stop. And I was like, did I get a bite already? So I reeled on a little bit, nothing. Go back to putting the planer board on. I get it clipped on, set it down, look up. It does it again. Well, I reeled, and I finally caught up with that fish. And we caught a 46-pound blue right off the rip. I mean, right off the rip. And I was like, we need to get out of here. Get away from these. We don't need to beat them up no more, nothing. So we found a lot of other places around that area to fish and everything. And we had one day right before the tournament that was good condition that we could really drift through there the way we wanted to. And we got through there and we hadn't caught another fish all week fishing different areas, drifting. And like, something's up. And then I got to thinking about it and I was like, man, that fish hit that bait when it was sitting there. It wasn't moving. So they were on an anchor bite. They didn't want the bait moving. I mean, we would drift right through tons of big fish and couldn't get. And we finally put 2 and 2 together, and that's when we figured out that it was an anchor bite. But always be looking at everything that's happening and putting the puzzles to get the pieces of the puzzle together.
Yeah, Aaron, you know, even the other day when we was fishing, we was dragging boards. We was pulling boards and dragging baits, and I put me 2 out suspended, and we fished for 2 or 3 hours and not a bite. And all of a sudden, the first bite come off the suspended rig, and literally, I dipped the fish up at the back of the boat. Troy was in the front. I dipped the fish up, baited the hook while I still had it in my hand, throwed it back overboard, and I said, let it back down, let it hit the bottom, pick it up about 2 foot, and put it back in the rod holder. And before he could get to the back of the boat where I was at, that rod was back down again, and that was 2 back to back. And when I caught the third one, I rolled every dragging bait I had in, every board I had in. And he said, what you doing? I said, put every one of them suspended. Every one of them.
Every one of them.
Hey,
one of them.
If you hear Stacy, if Stacy's cutting off his dragon stuff and his planer board stuff, then he's found something good, because that's rare. Stacy loves
it is.
That's for me too. My first technique is going to be drifting. That is the first thing I'm going to do. Is I'm going to start cutting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and you know, I couldn't figure it out unless my dragon rig was just so close to the bottom, and that suspended rig was up off, and they wanted to come up and get it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, cause I don't know what it was, but I'm telling you, they was hammering it, and that was the only thing I could figure. I says the only thing that's different from my dragon and my suspended rig is he's having to come up off the bottom just a little bit to come up and get it, versus that other bait being closer to the bottom.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty quick learner now. When he hits it 2 or 3 times on the same rig, I'm like, put some more over the side, just like that.
Yep. Stacy, Aaron, this guy here asked a question, and I really don't know how to answer it, because I normally find mussel beds by pulling in trees or something, some kind of structure or something that's loaded. But this fella here wants to know, how do you find a mussel bed in the flats?
That's a good question, because I honestly don't know. I mean, I see like Steve does videos where, you know, he said, I'm fishing a structure, or a mussel bed right here in the river. I've never seen a difference.
Yeah.
I'll tell you the difference between hard bottom and soft bottom, but
I'm gonna answer some of it, but I can't tell you now. But in the old days, when we come home and cleaned them, and we see when they was full of mussels, we like, well, there's a mussel bed there. But that was the only way I knew how to find them.
Yeah. The best way that I usually find a good area that's got a bunch of them is when I'm suspend drifting or something, and I get hung and reel a log or some debris in or something, and they're all over that. Usually, it may not be every time, but if you find them mussels, them fish are going to be around, because a lot of times Churchwell and Stacy knows you can check your live well after keep reviving them or something, and them things will be full, from regurgitating or using the restroom or whatever they're doing.
I know in a river system how you can tell where mussels are close. Look on the bank. But as far as in a lake, I've never been able to differentiate that.
Stacy, Stacy and Aaron, there was another guy that asked a question a couple of times on here, and it's I can't find it, but he was asking he's thinking about going to Wheeler this summer, and he's trying, I guess, to avoid the spawn time. So what do y'all think is the worst time in the summer for you to go to Wheeler when they would be locked up on spawn?
Probably June.
June. It's about June all over, huh? So I guess he was wanting to try to plan a trip, and he had asked on her a couple of times the spawn month in the Lake Wheeler Wilson area. So it'd probably be June.
Yeah, June. I mean, I honestly don't believe the whole fish breed at a certain temperature thing. I mean, because you catch fish all the way up until November that still have. I mean, I don't think the time when every single fish goes on bed at once.
Yeah. My thing, I'm in Owensboro, Kentucky, and I know Churchwell and Stacy, a lot of people think that Wheeler is his home water, but he's actually farther from Wheeler than I am. Stacy's way down by the beach. So I would say from a Kentucky fella standpoint, anytime you can get to Lake Wheeler, Lake Wilson, Gunnersville, go. Because it don't matter.
I do my best, and this is catching numbers of fish, and you'll catch a big one every once in a while. It's June, July time on Gunner. I mean,
them dog days of summer.
Yeah, you'll be out there swimming with them, son.
Stacy.
Hey, Bobby, we were swimming because we weren't catching nothing that day.
I was sitting in the back of the boat about half asleep, and we had done everything. And all I heard was a big splash, and turned around and looked back, and Stacy was laying back in the water. So I said, well, that's all I seen. I waited about 5 minutes to make sure nothing ate him, because there's some catfish. So then I jumped in. But yeah, it's anytime you can get to there. And a lot of people, it's deceiving. You might go there a few times and get skunked. It's not automatic. So I mean that you can kill that theory. You can go there and have and I don't if I don't catch fish or not, it's not a waste of data for me. But you don't just pull up at Lake Wheeler and Wilson and throw a rod out and just start pounding fish. It don't happen unless you just fall into a perfect spot. But you like Churchwell said, time on the water and stuff, it may take you a time or two, but by far, I haven't fished that James River or none of that other stuff, but that Lake Wheeler and Wilson and Gunnersville is a and Stacy and I talk about it all the time. It's a special place.
It is. It is. It is. Lose this year. That was a tough day fishing, man. And in fact, we caught one fish and we drifted ruts in that thing. I mean, we caught 1 20-pound fish, and then we saw another boat that they were catching fish on anchor, and they were going live. And I told the guys I was with, I was like, I know exactly what they're fishing. And they were like, what is it? And I was like, it's a stump field with a bunch of logs in it. They were like, you know where something else like that is? And I was like, yep. So we ran up there, put an anchor down, and we all three pulled our phones out, and we were watching that guy's live feed, and they had caught a huge flathead. And we're all sitting there watching that live feed, and all of a sudden I look up and 2 rods are down. And I mean, that for instance, like that sometimes they don't want it moving. Sometimes they want it, stopped. So
sometimes they may want you may be drifting east to west, and they want it north to south. It's crazy. Like you say, sometimes Stacy and I, when we drag, we do a slow circle. And sometimes as we're doing that circle, like you said, that bait stops for a minute. And that's all it takes is something a little bit different. You got to pay, like you said, pay attention to those fine details, because when you pull over an area, when you're pulling up a hump or something, stop a second. Let it sit there a minute if you know you're down there around fish.
Always play with your speed too.
Hey, let me get a timeout right here. Robert Thomas said we need to give away a pair of these Dale tackle pliers.
Churchwell, what do you think about these?
I love them things, man. They are a lifesaver.
Ain't they? They got that little notch on there to grab that hook.
Yep. Hey, don't use them things to take the nuts off batteries. I will tell you that. They're not. They break on. I didn't have Stacy. I called Dale. And said, I got a problem, bud. And he's like, what's that? And I was like, I'm going to send you a picture. And I sent it to him. He said, what in the world did you do to them things? I was like, tried to take a battery off.
Stacy, he said that's serious.
Hey,
we got 3 pair of these we're going to give away. We got 3 pair of these we're going to give away tonight. So let's go ahead and let's start give one of them here away. Y'all give me just a second.
These are good pliers. They're spring loaded. They're great. They got the cutters. They got the crimpers. They got the grooves. And anybody that catches them fish, put that slot there, that offset as close in there to the curve of that hook as you can, and that'll come right out. Now you can't just grab the back of the hook and try to pull it out. Get it in there where it's curved. And that thing will come right out every time.
If you'll reach in there with your thumb and push that hook flat, and then just reach as far in there with them as you can, grab it and snatch, that joker will come out every time.
Stacy, Troy Smith said he'd like to win a pair. You've wore him out getting the hooks out of his fish's mouth.
Hey, Troy didn't let me catch a fish. He let me. Hey, Joey. There was one that hit my little pole, and it was just doing this right here. And he said, you can go up there and get that if you want to. He wouldn't let me get one of them that was just buried down in the water.
I believe it. I've seen him in action.
Hey, but I'm telling you what he will tell you. He'll tell you this. I'm one of the best net men that you're going to have on your boat. I ain't going to miss him. You get him up there, baby, I'm going to get him, baby.
Y'all ask Daniel Matta about that too.
Oh, hey, one of the first pair of pliers is Ricky Stacy. Hey, Ricky, we want to thank you, man, for tuning in and watching us. And guys, I do want to apologize for the delay. It's all on my end. I'm running the thing through my program. I do have a problem sometimes with the internet service. I've tried my best to fix this, but I live so far back in the woods, I'm telling you, we're lucky just to get sunlight back here at times.
Happy
we got 2 more. Hey, we got and I want to thank Robert Thomas for helping us out. Hey, let's go ahead tonight. I want to do something else. I've got let's go ahead and give away another pair of pliers. What about that, guys? Are you good with that, Joey?
Hey, I'm perfectly good with it.
Hey, I gotta
give me just a second here.
What you got? Bobby?
I got a giveaway we got to do too here in a little bit.
These people like giveaways.
Give you a little promo.
Y'all go ahead and talk. Keep them occupied here just a second, Joey.
They smack down catfishing.
There's
Bobby's new drifting weights. Stacey, I'm looking for Dustin Fowles in the house.
Uh-oh. Hey, you guys ever left him a voicemail?
I'll tell you what, Aaron Churchwell called him about 5 days ago, and I even called him out on a live feed. He ain't called me back since. You know what my mama always taught me? You can take a hint, can't you? So, hey, I tried to call him to make sure his family was doing okay. I know some of them got the COVID, so.
His voicemail, whenever you get there, says, it's a Dusty.
This is the Dusty. Oh, yeah.
It's a Dusty.
Hey, do you know what? Hey, Churchwell, Stacy's got a new name for him. He's the dog whisperer now. I think he's getting out of catfishing. He's going to start training dogs.
He's got 14 of them, don't he?
I think 18.
Hey, I'm telling you, he can have them things. He's doing a pretty good job. I've seen him make them eat out of his hand.
He is.
Oh, hey, Joey, he gonna give me and you trouble tomorrow. You know that, don't you? He'll be calling me and you. But I want to tell you what he has done. He has done an awesome job on that Sea Art boat that he's redoing.
He
has done an awesome job.
I told him.
Hey, the other winner of the Dale's Tackle Pliers is James McAnally. How would you pronounce that, Joey?
I'm
McAnally.
from Kentucky, man. I can't even read.
Hey, James, contact you, James and Ricky Stacy. If you would send me a messenger, send me a message on Messenger, and I'll get your address, and I will get this stuff to Dale's Tackle. He will get this stuff for you. We got one more pair of pliers we're gonna give away.
James McAnally. There you go.
There you
James
go.
McAnally. I see it.
Yeah. That's like syllables. James McAnally.
James, you and Ricky get a hold to me. We got another pair of pliers to give away, and we're going to give away a $50 gift certificate here to Dale's Tackle that's been donated by Chad Bryant. We want to thank Chad. We want to thank Robert Thomas for helping us out so much.
Great people.
Well, listen, I want to break something else out here, and I know we're running short. We're getting about 7:36. We got another. We're going to try to stay on here, at least get off here by 8 o'clock. But hey, Aaron, there's something you got drifting weights. Is that correct?
Yep. We put these through the ringer for probably about 6 months.
Hey, Aaron.
Yep.
Hang on one second. Guys, this is what Aaron Churchwell uses. And y'all seen this guy. He has put fish in the boat all over the country. And we ain't talking about no pollywogs. I'm talking about putting trophy catfish in the boat. And so, Aaron, show them what you got here.
Hold on. Hey, Stacy, while he's over there, we need to add a.
That's the first one I've ever been able to bring home.
There you go. Stacy, on the giveaway list, Stacy, we need to add a 325-yard of slime line, neon orange, or high vis green. That'd be from Slime Cat or from the Slime Line, and Tony. We appreciate him for donating the line with Big Cat Fever, Catch the Fever.
I got you.
It's gonna be a show of giveaways.
Hey, well, show them. Hey, Aaron, show them what you got.
So we've
give us a quick rundown here of your drifting weights.
I know a lot of guys are big about keeping their boats, not clutter free, keeping everything organized, everything where it goes. I know there's a lot of different drifting weights on the market, but in order to be really successful at it, you got to have a bunch of different sizes and a bunch of different kinds. So we put all that together on. So we made a drifting weight that you can choose the size of tubing that you want. We even got 2 different colors. So that's your small, that's your medium, that's your large. They come with 2 different size weights that insert into them. So you can change the weight as you're out. So say you're out there drifting and you're realizing that, hey, a 2 ounce isn't staying on the, down where I want it to. You can reel it in, and instead of having to dig through a bunch of different drifting weights, you can literally just pull out one of your other weights and just stick it in. Now they're tight enough to where you can cast it. It won't come off. They do come out. The 2 ounces, it doesn't give you much to grab onto. A lot of guys always carry pliers in their boat. You just grab it, spin it, and it comes right out. But I think it will take away a lot of the clutter, and you can build whatever you want out of it. If some of you guys like the ones that stand straight up and down, this large tube with this 2 ounce will stand straight up and down. It's as compact as all the weight is in it. It'll stand straight up and down. We were actually playing with it in the bathtub the other day. The 3 ounce and the large will give it, a little bit of buoyancy to it. We are coming out with 4 ounce too soon. But it's endless opportunities with it. Build whatever you want and go from there.
And you just brought them out of last week or so, haven't you?
Yeah.
I know the first day you brought them out, you said you sold out. So have you got some in stock now?
Yeah, we've got a limited supply. It seems like green is the hot color. That's what everybody buys. So I've got quite a few pinks. It takes me about 10 days to get the heat shrink for them because it's printed on there. So it takes me about 10 days. So about 10 days, all these green before I can get any more green ones in. Another thing too, the big problem that we were seeing with a bunch of the other products out there was the weight itself coming apart. This is actually everything in here together. It's all made out of PVC, all with side, so that it's not going to come apart. It's not going to. You'll get
where can I get them at?
So they're on the Facebook page, but Facebook has been being a pain, but it's just problem after problem with it. So it's easiest if you just message me.
Okay.
And that so it's $25 for 6 of them. It's your choice of tube size, and that comes with 2 bags of inserts. So you'll get 2 ounce and 3 ounce, 6 of each, and whatever size that you want. So
Gotcha.
It's been awesome since we dropped them. It went over a lot better than I thought it would. Now our part just keep up with it.
Good day. Hey, and you have these things. They can find them. They can find you on Facebook, up under Aaron Churchwell. Is that correct?
Yeah, you can. I mean, you can order them off of the Facebook page on your part. But for some reason the shopping cart's messed up. So you can buy one single pack of them, but try to buy multiple stuff. Like if you're trying to buy a polling system and some of the drift weights, we're changing the name to Bobby Weight. If you're trying to buy a package, just message me. It's a lot easier that way. I'll send you my PayPal. It'll go over.
Yeah, Adam Isaac's his Facebook page is Partners in Slime, but he said it just message him on his personal page is probably best. But yeah, it is Partners in Slime.
Hey, well, while we're here, let's go ahead and give away another pair of the Dale's tackle pliers. What about that?
We can give away 15 more pairs if you want.
Well,
Dale's gonna be calling you later.
Guys, the winner of the last pair of pliers. Hold on, the last pair of pliers right here that we're going to give away. It should be fixing to come up. Jack Rittenmeyer Jr. Guys, y'all just message me on Facebook and I'll make sure, message me your name, your address, and I'm going to forward this stuff to Dale's Tackle, and he will get this to you. Let's go ahead while we're here and let's give away a pack that 325 yard, you said, Joey?
It is 325 yards. It is the high-vis green or the high-vis or the orange. They both in the lights. They almost look like it glows under them black lights. It's crazy. Stacy and I both use this 40-pound, and it's good stuff. I'm about out myself, but it is for a 325 yard spool. Whoever wins this, send me a message tonight, and I will get it to Tony and them, and appreciate them for the generosity. And I know all these people in chat. I think there's almost 125 in here right now. So pull out a good one, Stacy. If Stacy don't pull your name out,
right here. Dustin Jones. Dustin,
Jones.
located that around Mobile. Dustin, if you would, hey, Dustin, send your address to Joey.
Yes,
Joey
sir.
will take care of this.
Yes, sir.
Uh,
Appreciate it.
get,
Thank you, Tony. Thank you,
Dustin, we
Dustin.
want to thank you, man, for tuning in with us. I do have one more giveaway tonight. You want to give anything else here we want to do, Joey?
Yeah.
Will's thanking you, and I know he's got a
medium.
benefit tournament coming up, and said you and Aaron Churchwell has donated some stuff for the benefit tournament, and he just was hollering to appreciate y'all's donations.
Who was that, Joey?
Will Timmy.
Yep, that's the one in September.
Yeah.
I think it's September.
I think that's
Hey,
all
Aaron.
I see.
Aaron, did you want to give away a pack of them weights there?
Yeah, let's do a pack of the
Is
medium.
that what you were saying?
Yep.
Them right there.
Yep, and it'll come with a pack of 2 ounce and a pack of 3 ounce.
All right, hang on.
Yeah, back on Dustin's boat. That thing is that thing's popping, ain't it?
Hey, I told him the other day, I said, every time you get that thing finished, you ain't gonna remember how to fish. So I love Dustin to death. He's one good hearted person.
He's a good fella. I may just come down to that Sea Arc tournament just to look at that boat.
Yeah. I think he's calling it the Sea Arc Extreme, ain't he?
Hey, I tell you what Doug Walker calls it. He calls it the trailer queen.
All right. Hold on. Here we go.
Steve Stacy.
This is it. Hey, did it pop up?
Yeah,
Hang on.
for a second. There it is.
There it is. Steve Stacy, contact old Aaron Churchwell. Send him a message on Messenger, and he gonna make sure he gets this right here stuff to you, man. Steve, we can't. I can't express enough for your everything you've done for us here and your support for this program. Thank you, Steve. Steve is the owner of Real Catnapper Rods. So, guys, want to thank you so much, Steve. I got one more, and we're fixing to give it away. This is a $50 worth of tackle or whatever your choice there at Dale's Tackle. This right here is I want to thank Chad Bryant for being a part of this right here and taking care of us. So we're fixing to give this right here away. Y'all give me just a second.
No, thanks. Well, he's drawn another name. We appreciate all these giveaways. I mean, it's awesome. I know a lot of y'all tune in every week, and you would tune in without the giveaways. And all these people here that send stuff, Chad Bryant and Big Cat Fever and SmackDown and Dale's Tackle, and it just Robert Thomas. The list is 15 deep of people that do stuff for the show every week. And I know Stacy and I always touch on it. We appreciate it. And I know all the people in chat, they appreciate it as well. And thank y'all again.
Here we go. I got
If
it.
they don't want this gift card that Chad's giving out, Stacy, I'll take it. So just to let you know.
Too late. Too late. You had to fight Alan Shepard over it.
Well, I'm just saying, if Alan doesn't want it, I'll be glad to take it. I normally don't take stuff, but I will take it if he don't want it.
Oh, hey, Alan. Everybody, Alan Shepard, you're the winner of the $50 worth of products there from Dale's Tackle. Just send me. You may have Dale on your Facebook. You may know him. You can just send your stuff there to him or send it to me and tell him you was a winner of it, and we'll make sure this stuff is going to get to you. Aaron, man, it was great to have you on with us tonight, man.
It was, man. I always enjoy myself with you guys.
I'm going to say this before we let go. Guys, if y'all don't keep up with Aaron Churchwell on Facebook, you need to. If you're a cat fisherman, you're looking for somebody that's you want to try to catch up on some tips and techniques and things he's doing. He fishes a lot. Don't tell him I said this. He's one of my favorite anglers out there. I keep up with him. I watch for him. Please don't let that get back to him. But he's a really good fisherman. Y'all can find him on Facebook. Keep up with him. Fishes all over the country. Fishes a lot of different waters. A lot of different environments. And it's made him a really great fisherman. He is a great fisherman. And Aaron, it was great to have you on tonight, man.
Thank you. And if any of you guys ever have questions, y'all can hit me up, just message me.
Aaron and his partner are both veterans. And Aaron, I don't know if I've ever told you, man, but hats off. I appreciate you and Daniel for y'all service.
Thank you.
I appreciate y'all, man. You're one of, and I won't say it either, Stacy. If you don't tell him, I won't tell him either. I really enjoy keeping up with him. He puts the smack down on him about anywhere he pulls up, and he's highly respected behind the scenes. Churchwell, thanks again, man. We appreciate you and your service. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I want to give a couple more shout outs, and I'm fixing to jump over here. I want y'all to be in prayer for Greg Mays. I'd appreciate it very much. Just lift him up if you would in your prayers. I want to thank Troy Smith for helping us out here with this program. Dale's Tackle, Steve Stacy, Charles Crook with Meat Hunter Rods, Chad Bryant, Robert Thomas. There's so many of y'all. I cannot express enough how much I appreciate everything y'all have done for us. Want y'all to leave y'all with this right here. One of the things I believe in is the power of prayer. And no matter what you're facing and no matter what you're going through, there's a God that cares about you. His name is Jesus. I wouldn't tell you if I didn't experience myself. God has been mighty good to me. And in these times of my life when you're facing a lot of things that's taking place, and sometimes there's some stuff that goes on, I just don't really know why it happens or what takes place. But I do know this, that nothing catches the Lord by surprise. And he's been faithful to me all these years. And if you hadn't placed your faith in him, I encourage you to at least consider making Jesus Christ your Lord. May God bless y'all, and may y'all have a great afternoon. And hopefully we'll see y'all next week. We're going to try to get this delay problem fixed with this computer, because it's not only aggravating me, I know it's about to kill Doug Walker watching us tonight. Hey, God bless y'all, and we'll see y'all later.
See ya.
Just a minute.